Hello everybody and welcome to Mr. Stansfield's educational videos. Today we're going to be taking a look at how to take a picture and prepare it to paint on a canvas on a grid. Now there's a couple of variables in here, so I'm going to show you the overall way to do it, and you can adjust it for your own practice. The first thing we're going to need to do is figure out what the canvas size is to make sure that the image size matches the canvas size. In this case we're going to be working on an 14 by 18 inch canvas. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to grab the rectangular marquee tool. It's the second tool down on the left. And if there's a circle there, if I just click and hold it, that's how I get the option of choosing that rectangular marquee tool. I want to go up here to Style and choose Fixed Ratio. And then I plug in 18 for the width and 14 for the height, which you can see I've already done. I just click and drag from the top left to the bottom right. And you can see here that there will be part of the image that will be cropped out. So I have to decide, do I want to crop the right side out or do I want to crop the left side out? In this case, I think a little bit of each, and my composition I think looks pretty good like that. After I make my selection, I go up here to Image, Crop, and it's going to crop to that selection that I've made. The next step is to go Select, Deselect. You can see the shortcut key is Command D if you want to work a little bit quicker. And finally, I'm going to go to Image, Image Size. And I want to go ahead and plug in down here in the document size, the width to 18. And you can see when I change the width to 18, as long as I have these three boxes checked, which I want to have all three boxes checked, when I plug in 18 here, it's going to automatically adjust the height to 14.002, which is fine. It's close enough. If I plug in 14 down here, you'll see 17.998. Again, fine. It's close enough. I want to change the resolution, and I want to change the resolution a little bit for, if you're printing on a laser printer, usually 180 pixels per inch is fine. If you're printing on an inkjet printer, typically we would go up to 240 pixels per inch. In this case, I'm just going to select 180 because our output is going to be on a laser printer. Click OK. Now you can see not much happened on the screen, but by changing those numbers, it's going to make a big difference later. Alright, so that's the right sized image now for our canvas. The next step is to actually add the pixel grid or the square color grid. Before I do that, I want to go up here to View and show rulers. You can see that the shortcut key is Command R. Right, and you can see up here, if I pull this image up, by the way, to do that I hold the spacebar key, and that'll give me the hand grabber tool, and I can click and drag this up to the top of the screen. If your screen looks like this, okay, if you've got a bunch of stuff going on, like you've got Stevie Wonder in the background, you can hit the F key on the keyboard, and that will cycle through these three views. So I prefer this view. It's nice and clean, nothing kind of getting in the way in the background. So hit the F key there. Get the hand grabber and you can drag it right up, and you can see from 0 to 18 this ruler grid now is in inches. Alright, the next step is going to be to go to Filter and Pixelate and then Mosaic, and we're going to choose a cell size down here that corresponds to a certain grid that we've created on our canvas. Here's another shortcut key that you're going to need to know, Command Option 0. So if you hold Command and Option on the keyboard, then press 0, you'll get this view of 100%. If I hold the spacebar key, I can click and drag that down and move it around. Now, if you look up here at the top of the screen, these squares are roughly at 22, the cell size for 22 is roughly 1/8 of an inch, if you look at the ruler. If you've got a 1/4 of an inch grid, you would just basically change this until the square is the approximate size that you want it to be. So you're looking at your ruler here, and you can see this square is slightly bigger than a 1/4 of an inch. All right, 1/4 of an inch is 4 parts to 1 inch. So between 10 and 11, you can see there's 1, 2, 3 lines. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. In this case, 65 square cell size is a little bit too big. So I drag that down a little bit, and it's still a little bit bigger than I want it to be. 44 looks pretty darn good. I'm going to hold the spacebar key. I'm going to click and drag over to the 0 to the 1. Right up here is actually going to be the most useful for telling me the correct size. In this case, 44 is a little bit too small, so I'm going to change that to 45. And you can see at 45, each one of these squares is almost exactly 1/4 of an inch. It lines up pretty darn perfectly. So I click OK. Command 0 will look at the full screen image. Command minus will zoom out. Command plus will zoom in. In this case, this particular image doesn't look that great at a 1/4 of an inch square resolution, but hopefully your image that you choose to do this with will look a little bit better. All right, the next step is to rasterize this image. So we go here to Image Adjustments and posterize. We're going to posterize the image. And basically this is to select a certain level of the amount of colors. So most images, this right here has 255 colors. And as you drag it down, not much is going to change until you get somewhere down into the 20s probably. You can see that it starts to block up a little bit. If we hit Command Option 0, and you can see this color right here at 14 ends up blocking up quite a bit. I recommend doing 20 levels, 15 levels, somewhere around there. Click OK, Command 0 to look at it full screen one more time. Command minus to zoom out a little bit. And you can see that a lot of these colors block up. This brown in here, this brown in here end up blocking up when we go down to that posterization. All right, the next thing we're going to do is save, File, Save As. And I recommend saving it as a JPEG format and saving it with a name so you know what it is. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and say Mosaic 2 because I've already named this before. Click Save. Choose the maximum. You want to have the highest quality. Even though we're breaking this file down into small parts, we want to have the highest quality possible. And then we're done with this step. All right, the next step is if you want to print a file, I recommend using this website, rasterbaiter.net. And what this will do is create a multi-page poster to the size of your choosing. We're going to click Create Your Poster right here. We're going to choose the file. Remember, we named it Stansfield Mr. Mosaic 2. Open that file up, upload that file to the rasterbaiter.net. And then down here on the bottom right-hand side, you see poster size with margins cut away. That's the number we care about. It says right here, 76 by 59.2 centimeters. Now, there's a couple things we need to do. First, choose the right paper size. US letter, that's the size we're going to be printing on our laser printer. And then here we can see that 18 inches to centimeters is 45.72, and 14 inches to centimeters is 35.56. So we go back to here, and that's what we want to get over here is we want to have the 45.7 by 35.5 down here on the margins cut away. So we go up here to the output size and we just start plugging in numbers. It's trial and error. 2 sheets wide will give us 39 by 30. That's a little bit smaller. We want it to be 45 by 35. 39 by 30 is a little bit too small. So we go 2.5 sheets and now it's 49 by 38. 49 is a little bit bigger than we want it to be. So we go back over here and we just start plugging in numbers. 2.2. Okay. 43 by 33, getting a little bit closer. How about 2.3? 45 by 35. I think we're getting pretty close. We want 45.7 by 35.5. We have 45.1 by 35.1. So we're going to just go add 3.1. 45.3. All right, we're getting close. 2.32. 45.5 by 35.4. All right, we're pretty much there. We could try it. 3.3. 45.7, which is exactly where we want to be, by 35.5. Perfect. Okay. So the output size, we want to make sure that we basically just line it up with this margins cut away. Hit continue. We want to choose no effects. Continue again. Multicolor white presets. Continue. We want to go ahead and have a plane enlargement. And we want to include crop marks, and we're going to say rasterbate 6 pages. Now, this is going to take a little while to run, so I'm going to pause the video and come back when we're done. All right, after the rasterbation is done, it will ask you to save it. In this case, I'm just going to go down here, click on Stansfield Mr. Mosaic 2. It's going to save it as a PDF file, and click Save. Once it's done, I'm going to show in Finder, take a look at that file, double click it, open it up. Now it's going to open up in Preview, and we go File, Print, or Command P, and we're going to print it to the laser printer. And there's a couple things you just got to set up right here. You just want to make sure that you have the right paper size set up. I recommend going down here to color quality, change the media type to plain paper, and make sure that, here we go, make sure that you have the right orientation. In this case, it's the portrait orientation. And then you just click print, and that's it.